All right, so welcome to another deep dive. Today we're looking at something, a real estate listing that I saw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it caught my eye. It's a property in Erin, Ontario,
Okay.
and it's being marketed as a 1,000-year home.
1,000-year home.
Yeah, 1,000-year home.
Wow.
Now you might be thinking, well, that sounds like a bit of hyperbole.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Right.
who's going to be around to know? Right.
Exactly, exactly. But the construction method they used is something called insulated concrete forms,
Okay.
or ICF.
ICF. Okay.
And this is where it gets interesting because they use this from footing to peak, which I think hints at something pretty unusual.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not typical.
So, I mean, what would it be like to live in a home designed to last a millennium? I mean, this is crazy.
Oh, 1,000 years.
Yeah.
That's like mind-boggling.
Yeah. Let's unpack this with our expert.
Well, I think what's intriguing here is that this whole 1,000-year home concept, it isn't just a catchy phrase.
Yeah.
ICF construction, it's known for being incredibly strong,
Yeah.
durable. It's almost like you're building a house out of these supersized Legos made of reinforced concrete.
Wow.
So not only is it incredibly strong, but it's highly energy efficient, resistant to all sorts of things, fire, pests, even extreme weather.
Okay. So we're talking about a house that could potentially outlast generations.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Wild to think about.
yeah, it's quite a thought.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, how does ICF construction actually contribute to that 1,000-year lifespan? I mean, is it really that much more durable than, our traditional building methods?
Oh, the difference is significant. Think of it this way. A traditional wood-framed house, it's susceptible to, moisture damage, termites, even just regular wear and tear. But ICF, on the other hand, creates this like virtually airtight and impenetrable shell.
Yeah, and to really quantify that, these homes can withstand winds of up to 200 miles an hour,
Wow.
which makes them obviously much more resistant to extreme weather events. Plus, it's incredibly energy efficient, meaning lower heating and cooling costs over its very long lifespan.
So not only is it like built like a fortress,
Yeah.
it's eco-friendly.
Pretty much, yeah.
That definitely adds to the appeal, especially for someone who values sustainability.
Absolutely.
But let's move on to the actual living experience.
Yeah.
Because the listing mentions all these luxurious features, like a gourmet kitchen and a sunlit living area. But I
Well,
mean, is it all concrete and function over form?
Not at all. The listing describes this spacious, luxurious interior that sounds incredibly inviting.
Okay.
Picture this, a gourmet kitchen with like top-of-the-line appliances. Perfect for those who, love to cook, entertain. And they talk about a sunlit living area, and it's got built-ins, this cozy atmosphere. It just sounds perfect for relaxing after a long day. They even mention a covered deck with panoramic views. I can picture myself sitting there, cup of coffee, taking it all in.
That does sound like a nice, relaxing way to start the day.
Right.
Now, speaking of taking in the scenery, the listing places this house nestled in the countryside, and it mentions apple trees, panoramic vistas. Sounds idyllic.
It does.
But it also mentions quick access to towns like Erin, Gulf, and Georgetown, even Highway 401.
Oh, wow.
I mean, is this property trying to have it both ways?
It seems like they're aiming for that sweet spot between rural tranquility and, urban accessibility.
Okay.
Imagine living in this peaceful countryside setting, surrounded by nature, but still a short drive from, all the conveniences of city life. It's a combination that I think is becoming increasingly popular. It appeals to those who want, the best of both worlds.
It's interesting how this property seems to be challenging the traditional boundaries between rural and urban living.
Yeah, it's kind of blurring the lines.
Yeah. But let's delve a little deeper into the layout.
Okay.
Because the listing mentions a main level guest room,
Right.
a second level loft, and even a lower level in-law suite with a walkout. What kind of possibilities do you see in a layout like that?
Well, I think this layout suggests a real focus on flexibility, adaptability. You've got the main level guest room, offers convenience, privacy for visitors. Then you go up to the second level, and there's a loft complete with its own luxurious bathroom and living area. It's almost like a separate apartment within the house.
Oh, wow.
And then you've got that lower level in-law suite with its own separate entrance that could be perfect for, multi-generational living.
Right.
So family members can live independently, but still be close.
Okay, so we're talking about a house that could comfortably accommodate a variety of living arrangements. It almost sounds like a mini community under one roof.
Yeah, exactly.
But the listing also mentioned something that really caught my eye, and that's garages.
Garages.
And
Oh.
not just one, but two. What's the story there?
Well, now this is where things get particularly interesting,
Okay.
especially if you're someone, with a hobby or a passion that requires a lot of space. The attached garage, it's 37 by 37 feet, 16-foot ceiling.
Okay, that's a good size.
It's a good size, right? But then there's the detached garage. Now, this one's impressive. 40 by 65 feet, 12-foot ceiling.
Wow.
And here's the kicker. It has a 20 by 40-foot enclosed loft above it.
Wait, hold on. A loft above the garage.
Above a garage, yeah.
Now that's something you don't see every day. I mean, what could someone possibly do with all that space?
I mean, the possibilities are endless. For a car enthusiast, it could be a dream come true. But imagine, a woodworker setting up shop in that loft, an artist creating a studio, a musician setting up a band practice space. This isn't just storage. This is like a whole other dimension to the property.
It's amazing how this one property can appeal to so many different lifestyles. And it all ties back to this idea of a 1,000-year home. I'm starting to understand why they use that phrase.
Right. It's more than just a house.
Yeah, what other clues are there that this is more than just a house?
I think what stands out to me is this overall feeling of intentionality. It's clear that a lot of thought went into every aspect of this property. The choice of ICF construction, the flexible layout, even the location itself. It all seems very deliberate.
So it's not just about building a luxurious house, it's about creating a legacy.
Exactly. It's a statement about long-term thinking, about investing in quality, durability, and creating a space that can adapt to the needs of, generations to come.
It definitely makes you think about the bigger picture, doesn't it? But I have one more question before we move on. What kind of person do you think would be drawn to this property? It seems like it could appeal to so many different lifestyles.
Yeah.
But is there a common thread that you see running through all of them?
I think it boils down to a certain mindset.
Mm-hmm.
This home would likely appeal to someone who values quality, longevity,
Mm-hmm.
and perhaps even a touch of self-sufficiency.
Okay.
Someone who understands that a well-built home is an investment,
Yeah.
not just financially, but emotionally and maybe even, spiritually.
So are we talking about someone with deep pockets and a passion for historic preservation? Or could it be someone who simply appreciates the value of something built to last?
I mean, the listing price certainly suggests a certain level of financial resources,
Right.
but I think it goes beyond that.
Okay.
This property speaks to a desire for permanence,
Mm-hmm.
for creating something that will stand the test of time. It's about leaving a mark, not just on the landscape, but on the future.
It almost feels like they're buying a piece of the future,
Yeah,
or at least a chance to shape it in some small way.
exactly.
But let's shift gears for a moment
Sure.
and get back to those practical details.
Yeah.
We talked about the in-law suite,
Right.
but what other possibilities does that open up? Could it be more than just a space for extended family?
Oh, absolutely. That in-law suite could easily serve as a rental unit, providing an income stream
Right.
and adding to that sense of community that this property seems to encourage. Or imagine a home office,
Yeah.
a creative studio, or even a private guest suite for friends and family. I
Right.
mean, the flexibility is remarkable.
And speaking of flexibility, let's not forget about those garages.
Right. Yeah.
We touched on the possibilities for car enthusiasts and hobbyists.
Mhm.
But what about someone who's passionate about, say, woodworking or restoring vintage cars?
That detached garage with its high ceilings and spacious loft, I mean, that could be a dream come true for anyone who needs a dedicated workspace.
Yeah.
Imagine having a fully equipped workshop
Yeah.
where you can just pursue your passion without limitations.
Right.
It's almost like having a separate business,
Yeah.
creative space right on your property.
And let's not forget the potential of that loft space above the garage.
Right.
I mean, it could be anything.
Anything.
From a home gym to a guest suite to a private retreat for creative endeavors.
Exactly. It adds another layer of possibility to an already incredibly versatile property.
Yeah.
It's really no wonder they're calling it a 1,000-year home.
Yeah.
It's designed to evolve and adapt to the changing needs of its inhabitants over time.
It's fascinating how this property challenges our traditional notions of what a home can be.
I know.
It's not just a place to live.
Oh, yeah.
It's a platform for living a certain kind of life,
Yeah.
one that values quality, durability, and connection.
And it's that sense of connection that really stands out to me. The
Yeah.
connection to family, to community, to nature, to the future. It's all woven into the fabric of this property.
We've been talking a lot about the practical aspects of this house, the
Right.
layout, the features, the possibilities.
Hmm.
But I think there's something deeper at play here. It's
Yeah.
it's almost like this house is a statement,
Yeah.
a reflection of a certain philosophy or way of life.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
This isn't just a house. It's a statement about values,
Yeah.
a vision for the future,
hmm
and a reminder that some things are truly built to last.
And that's a powerful message in a world where everything feels increasingly disposable and fleeting.
Absolutely.
We've delved into the unique construction, the versatile layout, the intriguing location, and the potential this property holds for a variety of lifestyles.
Right.
What stands out to you the most about this 1,000-year home?
For me, it's the sense of potential. This property isn't just a house. It's a blank slate for creating something meaningful and lasting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a place where, where family histories could unfold, traditions could be born, and a deep connection to the land and to the future could be nurtured.
It's inspiring to think about all the stories that could be written within those walls over the next 1,000 years.
It truly is.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that real estate is about more than just square footage and market value.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the stories we tell ourselves about home
Yeah.
and the legacies we hope to leave behind.
Well said. We've explored this unique property from a variety of angles,
We have.
from its unconventional construction to its potential impact on the lives of those who inhabit it.
Absolutely.
But I can't help but wonder what the day-to-day experience of living in a home like this would actually feel like. Would it feel different knowing that the walls around you are built to withstand centuries?
That's an intriguing question.
Hmm.
It makes me think about the concept of deep time.
Leave time.
Yeah. That sense of awe and perspective that comes from contemplating, the vastness of history.
Right.
Living in a home that's designed to last for generations could definitely evoke those feelings. It can foster a sense of connection, not just to the past, but to the future as well.
Yeah, it makes you want to fast forward through time.
I know, right?
Like, I'd love to peek into the future and see this house, 100 years from now, or even 500. What do you think it would look like?
Well, predicting the future is always a challenge.
True.
But I think it's safe to say that this house would continue to stand out.
Yeah.
Just imagine the stories it would accumulate over time,
Right.
the way the surrounding landscape might change and evolve.
Yeah.
It could become a local landmark,
Yeah.
a symbol of enduring craftsmanship and timeless design.
And speaking of timeless design, the listing mentions those apple trees and panoramic vistas. It sounds incredibly peaceful.
It does, and that connection to nature is another key aspect of this property. The listing, it emphasizes the outdoor living spaces, the covered deck, the patio, the front porch overlooking those apple trees.
Yeah.
It's clear that this home is designed to blur the lines between indoor and outdoor living,
Mm-hmm.
to foster a sense of harmony with the natural world.
It's amazing how a single real estate listing can spark so many different thoughts and conversations.
I know, it's really got us thinking.
We've talked about architecture, sustainability, family legacies, the concept of deep time, and the importance of connecting with nature.
All inspired by this 1,000-year home.
Yeah, all inspired by this 1,000-year home.
It's a testament to the power of thoughtful design,
Yeah.
To inspire us and to challenge our assumptions.
Yeah, absolutely.
This property, it isn't just a place to live.
Yeah.
It's a statement about values, a vision for the future, and a reminder that some things are truly built to last.
Well said. I think we've covered pretty much everything.
I think so.
But before we wrap up,
Okay.
I have to ask,
Yeah.
what's the one takeaway you want our listener to walk away with?
I think the most important takeaway is that a home is more than just bricks and mortar.
Oh.
It's a reflection of who we are, what we value, and how we choose to live our lives.
Right.
This 1,000-year home, it challenges us to think about the legacies we want to create, not just for ourselves, but for future generations as well.
That's a great point. And if our listener is as intrigued by this property as we are,
Yeah,
they can find a link to the listing, complete with photos and a virtual tour in the show notes.
absolutely.
Definitely worth checking out.
Imagine the stories this house could hold over the next 1,000 years.
Yeah.
What legacy would you want to build within its walls?
That's something for all of us to think about. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.